Imagine walking into an apartment and finding a stuffed Hello Kitty doll. But inside that doll is a human skull. This is not a horror movie plot. This really happened. Today, we're diving into the case of the Hello Kitty murder, one of the most disturbing crimes ever recorded. In 1999, police in Hong Kong entered a small apartment on Grandel Road. What they found inside would horrify even the most seasoned detectives. A human skull stuffed inside a Hello Kitty doll. This is the story of the Hello Kitty murder, a crime so gruesome it has haunted the world for over 2 decades. Who is the victim? To understand this crime, we first need to know who Fan Man-yi was. Born in 1976, Fan had a difficult start to life. Abandoned by her family at a young age, she grew up in an orphanage. By her teens, she struggled with addiction, and with no safety net, she turned to sex work to survive. Despite her struggles, those who knew her described her as kind, soft-spoken, and trying to build a better life. She eventually married and had a son, but life was not easy. Money was always tight. In Hong Kong's bustling nightlife district, sex work was often controlled by the triad's organized crime groups. This was the world Fan found herself in, and it's here that she would meet the men who would ultimately end her life. Then you would ask, who are these perpetrators? The central figure was Chan Man Lok, a 3-4-year-old triad member and drug dealer. He had power, money, and a dangerous reputation. Alongside him were 2 accomplices, Leung Shing Cho, aged 27, a nightclub worker. Leung Wai Lun, only 21 at the time, easily influenced and desperate to impress. Together, they formed a trio of cruelty that would soon unleash unthinkable violence. Chan first encountered Fan when she began working at a nightclub. She owed him money after allegedly stealing HK for $1,000, roughly $500. In Chan's world, theft was unforgivable. What should have been a small debt would instead become a death sentence. Then comes the kidnapping. In March 1999, Chan and his men abducted Fan. She was taken to an apartment in Tsim Sha Tsui, one of Hong Kong's busiest districts. At first, Chan demanded repayment, but quickly, things escalated far beyond money. The men decided to make an example out of her. Fan was tied up, beaten daily, and starved. She was forced to smile and act grateful whenever the men entered the room. If she didn't, she was punished. The torture was methodical, cruel, and lasted for weeks. Neighbors later reported hearing screams, but in a city as crowded as Hong Kong, noise was nothing unusual. No one suspected what horrors were unfolding just a few feet away. The torture, what happened inside that apartment, was beyond comprehension. Fan was beaten with metal pipes. Hot wax was dripped onto her skin. She was forced to consume substances that made her ill. At one point, she was strung up and beaten for hours. And yet, the men continued to treat this as entertainment. They played video games, watched TV, and went about their lives while their victims suffered in the next room. Eventually, after weeks of abuse, Fan died from her injuries. But even death did not bring her peace. What they did next is what gave this case its infamous name. Then comes the popular Hello Kitty doll. Fan's body was dismembered. Some parts were discarded, others boiled, and her skull horrifyingly was stuffed inside a Hello Kitty mermaid doll. The doll, colorful and innocent, became a grotesque symbol of the crime. It was as if the killers wanted to mock the world, hiding their brutality inside something designed for children. Then the investigation started. The case might never have been solved if not for an unexpected twist. A 1-4-year-old girl, who had been dating one of the men, went to the police. She claimed she was being haunted by the ghost of a woman. At first, officers dismissed her story, but when she described in chilling detail what had happened in the apartment, investigators realized they had to act. Police stormed the building. What they found matched the girl's description exactly. The Hello Kitty doll, the bones, the evidence of unimaginable cruelty. Then the trial captivated Hong Kong. The killers showed little remorse, insisting Fan had died from a drug overdose. But the evidence told another story. Because of the condition of Fan's remains, prosecutors couldn't prove murder beyond a reasonable doubt. Instead, the men were convicted of manslaughter, unlawful imprisonment, and preventing the lawful burial of a body. Each was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 20 years. Public outrage and opinions. The public was horrified. Many believed the punishment did not fit the crime. Newspapers called it one of the most disturbing cases in Hong Kong history. The Hello Kitty murder became a symbol of both urban horror and justice denied. 4 years afterward, children and adults alike were haunted by the case. The legacy and psychological impact, beyond the gruesome details, this case forces us to confront deeper questions. How can human beings inflict such cruelty on another person? What does this say about the darkness within society? Fan Man-yi was not just a victim of 3 men. She was a victim of poverty, addiction, and a system that left vulnerable women exposed to predators. Her story is a tragic reminder that behind every shocking headline is a real person with hopes, struggles, and dreams that were brutally cut short. So guys, the Hello Kitty murder is not a story of monsters in the shadows. It is a story of ordinary people capable of monstrous acts. More than 20 years later, Fan's name is still remembered, and the doll that once symbolized innocence will forever be linked to one of the darkest crimes in modern history. Do you believe justice was truly served in this case? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay curious. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay curious. For more true crime stories like this, give me a thumbs up, follow this page, and turn on your notifications bell to get notified whenever I post videos like this. See you in my next episode.